If you don't want to follow along and just want the design file, you can find the free Figma design file for this in the description of the video. But if you want to see how it's done, we're going to make this futuristic shape and also how to apply this glassmorphic effect on the shape. So first of all, I'm just going to copy this in this frame, in this black background, so it's going to be easier for you to follow along plus see. So to make this, if you see here, there are two auto layouts. This is for the text and this is for the bottom text, and we are left here with just the shapes. So I'm going to be concentrating on making the shapes first. So what we're going to do is draw a rectangle. The shortcut is R, and then we're just going to make a rectangle like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make another rectangle. It can be of any size of your preference. You can play along here. So another one, Control D. We have another one. Just press Shift and do this, and it will keep its proportion. So just to differentiate, I'm going to color this white. And now we're going to click on this, hold Shift, and click on this. So both of our shapes are selected. And then what we're going to do is, oh, whoops, no, not that. So we're going to click on this down and we are going to select subtract. Now, we can see that there has been a chunk taken out. This top layer has been subtracted from the bottom layer. And if I select this and I move this around, I will see that it is subtracting away from the bigger shape. So what we're going to do is, look, there's a group here with the name subtract. And what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to round the corners just like that, increase it. And then if we want to change, like suppose we want to make this a little diagonal, what we are going to do is we're going to press this. We're going to press this small object here. And then what we're going to do is press enter. When we press enter, we'll have these lines appear, and then we can select the corners and then hold shift and just drag. By holding shift, we will ensure that this line does not go up and down and it goes straight. So I want this to be like this. And what I also want is that I want this line to be a bit higher. So I'm going to click on this, hold shift and click on this, and then I'm going to just push it a bit above. So yeah, and then once we're done, we're going to press enter. Okay, so that is our shape right there. And then what do we want? There's also a little shape here. So how do we get that? The way that we get that is we go into this, we click on the small rectangle that we just modified, we hit Control D, and you'll see that there's another rectangle. So in order to get this out of the group, we'll just drag this out of here. So you can see there's the shape right here. So what are we going to do? We are going to just hold down shift, and just hold down shift and decrease it a little bit. And then we can round up the corners just like this. And so what's happening here? This is not as much as this, right? The space here. So what we can do to address that, just press enter again, hold down these 2 points, just, oh no, Control Z, just drag here, yeah, or maybe I want a little bit of space to be here, and then we press on these 2 and we go down a bit. Now we got the shapes down and we are going to add the glassmorphic effect right now. So to do that, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to change the fill to a much darker color, like, okay, not like that. So we can see it, right? And we're going to add a stroke. So we are going to add a gradient stroke. One side we can see is very light, so we're going to add white, and on the other part it's going to be a very light gray. We're also going to increase it to 3, and we are going to do this as this is where the light is coming from, it seems. And then we're going to go to fill. We're also going to add a gradient here. So I'm going to change this to white. And okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to change this to white. Yep. I'm going to change this to a darker color like black or something like gray. No, something like black. Yeah, black seems better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the angle of it. So yeah, what can we see? It's a very harsh transition, right? Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're just going to change this. We're going to make this like this, and we're going to, so this is where we have to play around. This gets very harsh when we increase this. So yeah, what we can do is do this and decrease the opacity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the opacity for this, and we can see that it's getting a lot lighter. Increase that, yeah. And when we see this glassmorphic effect, it's really better to try to layer these instead of just using one layer to do everything. So we're going to add another layer, and we're also going to use a gradient here. So it's the same thing, but instead we're going to try to make the lower part a bit more dark. So we're going to try and take the whiteness away. Yeah, something like that. Maybe brighten this up a bit and just push it over here. Yeah, so that makes the edge a lot more brighter. And so this stroke is a bit too much. So what we can do is just click on it and make the bottom part a bit darker, to match it and everything. So we're going to go there. Okay, you can close now. Okay, so just move it around like that. Yeah. So this upper part is a lot more lighter than the lower part. Now, we don't have to do the same thing manually for this shape. What we can do is that we can click on this and we can go to copy properties, and we can paste properties. So because the corners are rounded, the same thing has applied here. So what we have to do is go here and just decrease the amount. It up a bit, make sure all the lines are appropriate. And for the text, so if we turn on the text right now, what we are going to do is we're going to choose any font of our choice. I'm going to choose Enter. So we're going to write class. We're going to put it here. I think if we moved it to black, it would be much more easily readable. Glassmorphism. I think if we changed it to a lighter color, that would be a lot more easily readable. And okay, let me just yeah. So then what we can do is make it a bit bigger, because this will be placed here, and probably we want the user to see this at the beginning. So this is, and we can do the same thing for this amount of text. Now, after doing all of it, please make sure to group all of this, Control G, because if you want to make this a component and you use it, reuse it again and again through your project, through your website, you're going to have to make a component of it. And to make a component, just group it. Okay, so this is what you have to do in order to make this glassmorphic effect, and I will see you in the next video.